Good morning, Denise Dryden. I'm here doing my weekly presentations to you, and it's 2021, so welcome to the first new style of presentation. I'm going to try to do less time and to do less professor sort of teaching, because I think we're at that period of time now where everything that we've been learning in 2020 is now to put it into application and put it into work. And so today I want to start with this great article that I found by, what's his name? Jake Eagle. It was on Live Consciously, and it was from 2011, and it's a 3-part video on how to individuate. And man, I just took it and put it down as a platform and thought, all of what we're doing right now is learning how to separate ourselves from what no longer works and what works for us. And individuating is a psychology term for how do you sort of separate from your parents, from your you know, the stories we have in our head of the expectations and the rules and the things that we do in order to get approval and love and support from our parents. So to individuate can start in the teens, it can also go to the 20s, and it can carry us all the way through to our 50s and our 60s, because we still may be playing some of those old stories. And we apply those stories towards our parents if they're still alive, our siblings, any of our familial relationships. We also apply these, because we transfer them over and we put them onto our partners. And we put them onto our bosses and onto our friends. And so, you know, what I want to do is take individuation and sovereignty and bring them together. So I'm taking the psychology concept of individuation and the energetic concept of sovereignty, and I want to meld them together so that we know that this is both a mental process as well as an energetic process. So to individuate is to become your own person, right? It's to live the life that you choose, not the life that someone else wants for you, right? So there's 3 parts to this. And so the first part is to declare who you are, what you need, and what you want to the people that are involved. So for a teen, or for a young adult who's come home from college, or for someone who's in a marriage that's been in a certain place for a long time, or a job, you declare your own sense of independence, which is, this is what I have discovered that I want and I need, and that I may have been a little too dependent on you. I need to learn some things, and I need to move forward. So the first thing that we do is we declare it. We declare our independence, and we go like, this is who I am, and this is what I want to do. And you create space, as we're going to talk about next, for that person to react. So you make your own declaration, and you start with, you know, this is what I need, this is what I'm experiencing, this is how I want to grow. And it's important to recognize that you may run into, because people are not used to you shifting, you may run into some confusion like, what are you doing? Or some skepticism like, yeah, I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it. Or that ignorance, which is, I don't understand why you would do that, especially when we're talking about politics, when we're talking about needing to split from some of the ways that we have thought before. Or denial, which is, no, I'm not going to let you do that. So the most important thing to know when we're declaring who we are, and we come up against some of these obstacles, right? So the first one, the first one is confusion, like, I just don't understand. So when we pitch in, when we jump in and we try to help them, navigate, I want to explain it to you. I want to explain it to you so you're not confused, and so that I can make it better for you. Then we're sort of moving into the pattern that we're trying to break, right? Which is, I'm enmeshed, I'm dependent, and I need you to be less confused. So it's like there's the trap when we declare it, right? So the second thing is skepticism, which is when you have a parent or someone who's been offering financial support, or, doesn't believe that you can run your own company or something like that. And they're like, I don't know if you can do that. When we go into to convince them, when we go into to move them off of their skepticism, we are in the approval seeking stage. right? Like, I just need you to approve me so that I can go ahead and do this. And so this declaration is not as easy as we think it is. The third part of this is that when we go up against ignorance, someone who hasn't really like done their own research, doesn't understand what you've been really trying to learn, who you are, you can fill in ignorance on a lot of levels, right? What happens is when we jump in and we try to shape them, we're trying to educate them. We're trying to bring their education forward, which is, if you could just learn this, then you would understand, right? Anyone experience that trap? And then the last one is when we run into someone who's in denial, which is no, I don't believe you can do that, or I'm not going to do that for you, or no, right? What happens is we get into this power struggle, which is the parents refuse or the partner refuses, and then you are in that, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And then you do this thing, and what happens is our authority, we give our authority away to needing them to say yes, as opposed to going, you may not ever like what I'm going to do, right? So what happens with individuation is that, as our earth is changing, as our politics, our leadership, our astrological influence is changing, our vibration is sort of shifting, right? And so what happens is some of us sort of like shift up here and we're like, woohoo, this is like the best thing I've ever experienced. But the people we love, or the people that we're in relationship, or the people we depend on are still over here. So we have this dissonance. And when this dissonance shows up, what happens is that we try to use our old patterns of approval or of education, of dragging them up to where we are so that we feel more comfortable individuating. And so this declaring is like, I realize this is where I am, and it's different, and it may be uncomfortable. So let's talk about how we separate from that, which was the second article that Jake wrote, which I thought was wonderful, is that, what you do is you physically start with this statement, which is like, I got to make some changes. And I think this is really good for me, right? So you talk about what you want to do and what you need to do. And I know this isn't going to be easy, and it may be pretty ugly because I don't know how to do this. I'm taking responsibility for myself, and I need to step away. I need to step away from you. I need to stop calling. I need to stop accepting money. I need to stop bouncing ideas off of you. I need to stop waiting for your approval, right? And that's where you say it out loud, right? You declare, this is what's going, and then you say, and I need to, number 2 here, unplug, disconnect from you for a little while, which means I might not call, which means I might have to move out, which means that I might be gone more often, which means that I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to change and redirect the way I want to go because I'm taking care of myself. So we separate and we create a very distinct boundary between us and another person, which is, it doesn't really have anything to do with you. It's that I need to test myself. I need to know what I can do. And I need to make sure that I'm breaking some of these dependencies, some of these power struggles that I'm feeling, some of these reactions that I'm having. So you're really clear with yourself, very clear with yourself of what you need, what your rules and your boundaries and your separation are. And then you look at the dependent and the energetic exchange, and you look at, oh no, what happens when I'm used to using another person, mom or dad, or my partner, or my coworker at work to motivate me, to soothe me, to distract me. Like I have my friends that I go drink with to distract. I have this person I call is like, wow, this is what's going on in the world. Or I use sex, or I use other things to sort of soothe, touch. These are the ways that we have used other people in order to keep us from our own individuality, right? So when we come up on that and we've created a boundary, which is, oh, no, I can't go there with you, we have to realize, this is where we become really observant. Am I self-medicating now by going and finding another person to distract me? What if I can't get these needs filled? And so then it's really uncomfortable because we're really breaking some very old strategies of maybe, calling and dumping our emotions on somebody. And it's like, well, who's going to hold them now? It's like, oh, wow, I think I might have to hold my own, right? So what do you do? And the real work is establishing and managing these boundaries, even when they get awkward, and sort of going like, well, I'm going to do this for 2 months. I'm going to do this for 6 months. I'm going to do this for the whole semester. I'm going to spend all of 2021 starting my business, doing what I want to do, so that we have this time frame that we hold to. And, you know, we negotiate. We renegotiate with ourselves all the time, but we pay attention to where we've created this enmeshed thing. So energetically, we can uncord from that person. We can say something like, I give you your power back and I take my power back. And we set an energetic boundary, which might look like, don't cross or don't come across this boundary. So we can set that up because it makes it easier for us to manage ourselves and to separate. The third is more important. After you have a concept of self and you know what works and you know what doesn't work. So the third is reconnecting, which is how do you determine how to reestablish a new relationship with a parent, with a partner. Maybe you've broken up with a partner and now you want to, or you've separated for 6 months and now you want to come back in. So it's only if it's in resonance with you. You know, there isn't like 6 months went by and I'm still here and I feel guilty. So now I'm going to go back and succumb. I'm going to put my head down and pretend like my energy doesn't matter. No, it's like where we hold solid here. And you have this new agreement with yourself, like only quality people, only quality projects, only quality time. And you negotiate with these new ones, which is, I would love to be in a relationship if, I would love to be able to call you more often if and when. And this is what I've learned about myself, and this is what I need from you. And imagine that you have this tiny little inner circle. So there's me, and there might be two, 3 people that are really close and have been cheering me on and saying, you know, Denise, you're doing such a great job as you're individuating. That's your tight little circle. That's your tribe. Now, you don't invite anybody in there if they're going to come in and naysay, or they're going to go back to their own patterns, or you're going to go back to your old patterns. So, you know, we take this circle and we decide who can come in and who sort of stays on the fray, and you see them a little bit less often, or who absolutely just must disappear. You know, it's over. This resonance is never, in fact, it's now starting to look like this. Once I took some time away from it and I realized it wasn't this, it was more like this, and then now it's getting like this. It means that, you know, it's okay. It just means that I can't stop the direction I'm going, and you are evidently on your own path. So we allow each other to individuate, right? I was trying to do it with my hand and see how that works. So, you know, part of this is that Aquarius is about the individual, about establishing the individual first and then co-creating, collaborating with others. But unless we individuate, we don't know how to do that. So the time for tools of learning, how do we understand what triggers us? How do we know when we're in resonance? Those are all the tools that we're all now hopefully have, and now we're going into the next step, which is I have big changes to make in the world and I need to individuate. So this is the kind of stuff I do each week on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Subscribe, like it, sign up if you want more of these. And my goal for 2021 is to start offering some workshops around these topics for 4 to 6 people on Zoom, so that it's intimate. We can work on it. We can play with it for about 90 minutes, and I'll keep you posted on that. Meanwhile, happy January, happy 2021, and go out there and individuate. Take care. Bye-bye.